there's a lot of streamers out there. There's a lot of streamers out there, particularly on the Twitch side of things, that are talking about the mental health side of streaming. But when does anybody ever want to talk about the physical health side of streaming? That if you live your fantasy, those of you people out there who want to be a big game streamer and stuff and stream video games full time for a living, if you wound up as the next XQC, barreling away, making all kinds of money, streaming for like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours a day, like you have all the energy in the world. If you wound up living like that, what price tag can you put on your ability to actually have energy later in life or have decent health later in life because you didn't destroy your health in your 20s? It's a very important question. I think some of these people like to put the cart before the horse when it comes to streaming. They'll talk about how they want to be a big streamer, but they won't think about what that entails. There's plenty of talk about mental health when it comes to streaming. Who wants to talk about physical health? If you live the dream of being some XQC wannabe or something like that, if you live the dream of being the next XQC or something, and you're playing video games for a living for hours and hours and hours every single day, parking in front of your computer, how are you not signing yourself up for the biggest set of health issues related to having a sit-down job? Used to be an article a long time ago. It was called "Your Office Chair is Killing You," and it referred to the various health problems that develop when you're just plain sitting for way too long and you're way too sedentary. Well, when you're a streamer and that's the way you make content on the internet, yeah, have you ever thought about that? Lots of people talk about mental health when it comes to streamers. Show me anybody anywhere who actually wants to acknowledge that there can be very real physical health problems from people who stream for too long. And you know what? Here's the biggest problem with all of this. We don't know just how deep that rabbit hole goes yet. Twitch streaming and other streaming that is mainstream, like what we have today, is incredibly young. Just like the talking heads that are basically the face of streaming these days. The Pokemanes of the world, the Asmongoulds of the world, the S-Fans of the world, the Ninjas of the world, the Shrouds of the world, the XQCs of the world. You have a bunch of people 20-something years old heading towards 30, and then you have some people coming onto the scene that have a chance to have more of their adult life as full-time streamers. So today's streamers that are coming out of high school and they're finding a way to stream for a living, or college or whatever, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, they stream for a couple of years on a platform as mature as today's Twitch or today's YouTube or something like that. It's going to take years before they're heading into their mid to late 30s, heading towards 40, before we really see what some of the long-term health effects of being a big video game streamer for years and years and years are. Don't think that success is what it looks like when it comes to streaming. You know, we may not even know what that even looks like yet because of how new this is. So very, very, very important. Very, very, very important that we realize that this is, streaming is something that we still don't, it's still the Wild West in terms of what it does to you over long periods of time. But if we look at the analog and the offline world, with sit-down jobs, being too sedentary, not getting enough exercise, and stuff like that, now multiply that by someone barreling away, grinding on Twitch for hours and hours and hours, sitting down in front of a computer. As if in the pre-streaming world, America with its obesity problem wasn't already a place where we were such professionals at sitting down. Let's take, for example, when I was growing up. When I was growing up, people wanted to go to college so they wouldn't have to work a physical job. They didn't want one of those dumb jobs. They wanted to go to college and get a degree so they could get an office job for the rest of their life or something. Well, how about we look at, the corporate making lots of money, the vision that a lot of us may have had in our heads for making lots of money in corporate America with a college degree. The thing that millennials were told was a thing that would happen if you went to college and went into all that student debt. Let's suppose everybody got that. Here's what your life would be like. You'd be up early with an alarm clock to get some coffee in you to hit the road for a, I had some professors that were like, oh, it's not bad having a 1-hour commute to work every single day as long as you're making lots of money to make up for it. Okay, so you lose 2 hours of your day to commuting, or if you want to be generous, let's say you lose an hour of your day to commuting because it's a half-hour commute. But I had professors tell me, oh, you shouldn't have a problem with a 1-hour commute. Yeah, How many of those professors were driving to that college from an hour? Of course, they all made $70,000 a year, and they had a union. So it's just, don't try to tell me that it's so amazing to have a 1-hour commute every single day and all the costs and risks associated with that. Spare me. But okay, so here's what your life is like, living the dream, as many of us millennials were told it would be before all this crap happened. You're up early to get some coffee in you to jolt you with some energy before you hit the road, and you're sitting down in your car for a half hour to an hour just to get to work. And then you get to stretch out a bit and walk to your desk, say hi to whoever's at the water cooler or the coffee machine at work, maybe eat, maybe ingest more caffeine or something, and then sit down at your desk working for who knows how long, 8-hour days, or are you on salary? You do a 9, 10, 11-hour days? Is there some big company project going on? So you're talking, you get up, you walk around your house a little, but then you're sitting in your car. Then you go to work and you're sitting at your desk. Then maybe you go to a meeting or something and you sit at the meeting table. Or maybe you go out to lunch and you sit at the restaurant. Sit. And then it all goes in the other direction when you finally get out of the office and you sit in your car driving home. And then what? You're tired from a long day's work, so you sit in front of the TV and you watch TV. Sit. How many of America's health problems are because we have become such professionals at sitting so much? And that's the pre-streaming world. That's the ideal world that the high school guidance counselors told us millennials, which was the reason why we should all go to college, we should all get into the student debt, we should all do this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. That's the world that we could have known. And that's before streaming. You look at the full-time streamer living the dream today, on those days when they're barreling away with the massive streams. Heck, I've heard people like S-Fan talk about it. Hey, chat, if I sound out of it, it's because I rolled out of bed and turned on the stream. Wow, you rolled out of bed and sat in front of your computer. You started streaming because it's how you make money. And you really get into GTA RP or World of Warcraft or Apex Legends or something like that. And you stream away for like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, some unhealthy amount of time, which you have spent the majority. You basically have the equivalent of a corporate sit-down job. You're just not driving anywhere. You barely do anything besides sit while you're streaming on Twitch or whatever. And, okay, chat, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Maybe you do like a couple of things before you plop down for the night, and then you get up and go back online. In some ways, I think that maybe being a big streamer would be worse than some of those sit-down jobs in corporate America that us millennials were told we'd all have if we all got ourselves some college degrees. So, very serious thing to think about. Lots of people are talking about these problems with mental health when it comes to streaming, but does anybody want to talk about the physical health side of it? And I can tell you, I want to be on the right side of history with this one. So, it's one of the big reasons why I'm not going to be a big streamer. Because I think it's probably the most unhealthy form of content creation out there. Plus, there's limits on quality because you're live. You can't edit, that sort of thing. Why would you want to be a streamer? Especially as you got older and learned more about these kinds of gotchas that are hiding behind whatever it was that got you razzle-dazzled and interested in streaming all the time.